Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, Quinnipiac donated $1.4 million to the town of Hamden in hopes to improve relations.
Quinnipiac students attended the World Summit of Nobel Peace Prize laureates in Colombia.
All this and more coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Good evening and welcome to the Q30 Newscast. I'm Anna Sackle.
And I'm Brooke Riley.
More than 50 people attended a silent vigil early this afternoon on the steps of Arnold Barnhart Library in solidarity with immigrants and refugees. We spoke with the Vice President of the Muslim Student Association, Ali Munshi, about the event.
The MSA, along with some faculty, decided to come together and put together a silent vigil to stand in solidarity with the immigrants and refugees that are being affected by some of the executive orders that are coming down from the new administration. I think it's a great time for Quinnipiac students to sort of come together and band and understand that we're one nation, one student body, one country, one state, one city, whatever it is, and that this country was built on the backbones of immigrants and refugees and people like that. So I think it sends a great message, not only to our school but across the world that Quinnipiac stands with immigrants and refugees.
Last Friday, President Leahy held a press conference to discuss relationships with Hamden. Maury Hirsch-Gordon has the story.
Constant communication and the election of a new mayor was the turning point in Friday afternoon's monumental day for both Quinnipiac University and the town of Hamden.
Present the mayor a check for $1.4 million to the town of Hamden, which I have no doubt the mayor will put to good use.
This money given to Hamden helps cover for the lack of property tax, as well as the payment for town police and EMT services. President Leahy understands the significance of this contribution.
It's not so much a gift in my view. It's a way of Quinnipiac contributing back to the town that provides so many of these critical services.
To have the university bring a financial contribution of this significance to the town is certainly appreciated, and it goes to show that the university recognizes the town's need for that assistance.
While it is no surprise that both sides haven't seen eye to eye as of late, Mayor Kurt Lang said that today marks a new chapter in the book of Quinnipiac University and the town of Hamden.
Quinnipiac and the town are on better footing right now than we have been in a very long time.
Not only will this relationship improve in the years ahead, but I hope our financial commitment each year will be able to increase as well.
Many other important announcements were made Friday, like QU shuttles returning to the Hamden Plaza and the expansion of the York Hill campus.
It'll be very attractive senior housing with air conditioning and private rooms and some accommodation for fraternities and sororities that we think will clearly attract back from the neighborhoods onto our campus.
But when you step back and take a look at things from the big picture,
How many people in this room thought a year ago that we'd be having a press conference of this tenor and discussion? Raise your hand. All right, that means we did something good.
reporting in Hamden, Maury Hirsch-Gordon, Q30 News.
Last Thursday, the film 13 was screened, followed by a discussion panel. The film was about Black and Hispanic men get treated within the United States criminal justice system. Professors and students discussed the issues that surrounded the movie, specifically racism. Many emotions ran throughout the crowd and left some of them speechless. Issues that have gone unnoticed for a while were expressed and opened up many students' eyes. Many students in attendance said it was an effective and powerful presentation. Several Quinnipiac students traveled to Colombia for a Nobel Peace Prize conference. Kerry Golden talked with some of the students that attended.
Quinnipiac students recently got the opportunity to attend the 16th World Summit of Nobel Peace Laureates in Bogota, Colombia. The students got to spend 7 days at the summit where they got the opportunity to speak to world leaders, human rights scholars, and businessmen and women who have changed the world. Any student of any major was able to attend the trip.
So you had a two-part application process where you had to fill out a Google form about what inspires you, what you hope to do at the summit, and then you had to go through an interview with myself or Velvet Chestnut, who was my assistant student leader, or David Ives, who's the executive director of the Albert Schweitzer Institute.
The main focus of it was the person who won the Nobel Peace Prize for 2016 was Juan Emmanuel Santos, who is the current president of Colombia, and he won it because he brokered a peace treaty between the Colombian government military and the FARC militia, and it was a 50-year civil war in the country. So they finally brokered a peace treaty, so that was a very big point. And another one was activism among youth, because we had the biggest youth delegation there. I think we had around 800 youth delegates there from, I think it was 27 different countries. You had people from South Africa, Norway, France, the United Kingdom, the States, of course. And it was just so cool.
These are definitely issues that Quinnipiac students and all youth should really know about, because this is our world that we're taking over, our country, and so we need to be actively involved in the decisions that are made.
If any student is looking to be a part of the next student delegation, ASI will be holding a group process after spring break. They're also teaming up with Virgin Unite and the Desmond Tutu Foundation next semester. For Q30 News, Carrie Golden.
Uber pickup on main campus is changing yet again. Quinnipiac is creating a stricter and more regulated system for how students will be picked up on main campus. Cars will now have to line up in Hogan Lot to hopefully avoid traffic issues. Previously, Ubers were simply sitting around Hogan Road and around the parking lot. In an email sent out to the student body, the schools claim, that the previous system was unsafe. Any Ubers parking and waiting on the road will be issued a parking citation. Assistant coach for the acrobatics and tumbling team, Manny Bonilla, passed away this past week on February 5th after a long battle with cancer. Bonilla worked with the team about twice a week, and according to some of the members, he was a beloved member of the team. He has not worked with them since the middle of last semester due to his illness. Back in December, the acro team held a fundraiser in his name. Our hearts go out to his family and friends.
You know, Anna, there's been a ton going on in the political world, especially with Trump's executive order. It seems like we can't go a day without talking about it.
Not a day. There's been so much, and it's bringing it all the way back, even to Quinnipiac. Mike's going to talk to us about politics more in the political world. What's going on, Mike?
You guys are 100% correct. This is going to be almost a completely Trump political cast. We're going to talk about Betsy DeVos, who is now the new education secretary of our country. We're going to talk about how President Trump's executive order has gone through a rigorous set of checks and balances, and it's currently getting, sought after in court. But I'll get back to that when my political cast goes up. Here, we're going to go to break.
Coming up
and hashtag that.
We are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news. Coming up on Bobcat Breakdown.
Welcome into Studio 125.
So what? So what?
If you score 40 points in a basketball game, we all know you play Quinnipiac Intramurals. We all know you love to shoot the rock.
Well, if you think that's the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, what I'm about to say, I guess, is going to be pretty ridiculous in your book. But I'm going to say yes, there is a controversy. I'm
Getting ready to punch the ball as it lands right in front of another monument the player.
All this and more.
Coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast. Thanks for staying with us. We're going to toss it right over to Mike Iozzo with your full political update.
Vice President Mike Pence has cast a historic vote, breaking the tie to confirm Betsy DeVos as Education Secretary. Democrats argued that DeVos was unfit to hold this position, saying she will destroy the public education system and will do nothing to promote LGBTQ awareness throughout schools Monday night. Republicans argue that DeVos is a reformer, and she will fix the broken education system we see in many parts of this country. This decision comes after one of the most toughest confirmation battles we have seen to fill Trump's cabinet, with Senate taking hourly shifts to argue against DeVos. President Trump's executive order has gone through a rigorous set of checks and balances these past weeks, all leading to a lawsuit being filed by the states of Washington and Minnesota, the order within the past week. The Justice Department argued that the ban must be implemented to protect the U.S. from Islamic terror groups, citing how many Somalians in the U.S. have been connected to jihadist fundamentalist groups. The defense argued that halting the executive order has not caused any harm to the U.S. government, and that the ban has affected a number of residents in both of these states. The arguments were heard by the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and the ruling will be announced later in the week. President Trump has accused the media of purposely not reporting and minimalizing the coverage shown of threats posed by the Islamic State on Monday morning. Later in the evening, the White House sent out a list of 78 attacks, either inspired or executed by the Islamic State, dating back all the way to September 2014, saying most went without sufficient media attention. Trump went on to say, quote, "It's gotten to a point where it's not even being reported. And in many cases, the very, very dishonest press doesn't want to report it," unquote. All right, that completes my political update. I'm Mike Iozzo. Now back to you guys at the desk.
After a medical emergency on main campus last week, there was had a handful of emergency vehicles on Mount Carmel campus. We spoke to Public Safety Training Officer and Hampton Fire Marshal Richard Halley about how they respond to emergencies.
A student would call into our dispatch center at 6200. We would immediately dispatch a patrol officer, maybe two, depending on the severity of the call that's coming in. Hampton Fire will immediately be notified. Engine 5, which is located up on Whitney Avenue, is a EMT unit, and if it is a more severe call that comes in, then they will dispatch their paramedic unit as well.
Best-selling author Margaret Lee Shetterly came to Quinnipiac tonight to discuss her book, Hidden Figures. As a part of Quinnipiac's annual Black History Month, Shetterly shared the story of how African-American women used math to change both their own lives and America's future by calculating the flight trajectories for Project Mercury and the 1969 Apollo 11 flight to the moon. We caught up with Shetterly before the lecture, where she explained where her inspiration came from writing the book.
But it was my husband who said, I think somebody should write about this, because he heard my dad talking about these ladies and couldn't believe it. It's like, well, nobody learns this in the history books, and I don't understand why. And so I was like, wow, this happened in my hometown. And I know some of it, but I don't really know a lot of it, and it's really fascinating.
Shetterly discussed the topics of race, gender, science, and the history of technology. The book has been adapted into a new film that was released this January.
Members of Quinnipiac's Public Relations Student Society American chapter are working to raise awareness of mental health this month. The campaign Breakthrough to a Better You will focus on teaching students how to recognize their mental health and what the right steps are to improve their emotional well-being. Throughout the campaign, the team of PRSSA students hope to make a lasting impression on the QU community. Their goal is to help erase the stigma around mental health. Breakthrough to a Better You is on behalf of this year's national client, the Campaign to Change Direction, an innovative that vows to change the culture of mental health in America. It will begin on February 15th and will last 4 weeks. The first event is an information session. The second will be a yoga session, February 22nd. The third will be a showing of the movie Inside Out on March 1st. And the last will be music in the Carl Hansen Student Center. However, there is no set date yet. And now we toss it over to Andrew Badillo, who will update us on the status of travel ban this week's national news.
Thanks, guys. Federal appeals judges are deciding whether to keep President Trump's travel ban on hold or resume it once again. The 3 judges heard arguments Tuesday for and against the ban on 7 predominantly Muslim countries. The Justice Department is hoping to overturn the temporary ban on Trump's order, while critics are calling for it to end. The appeals court says they will have a decision by the end of the week. In true nail-biting fashion, Betsy DeVos has been sworn in as Secretary of Education even after half the Senate voted against her. It took Vice President Mike Pence to vote to break the 50-50 tie, the first vice president to ever cast a tie-breaking vote on a cabinet nominee. The decision comes after Democrats staged an all-night talking on Monday to make their opposition of DeVos heard. DeVos has no experience working, attending, or volunteering at public schools.
And there were no days off.
No days off. The words from Patriots head coach Bill Belichick that got Patriots fans pumped up at the team's Super Bowl victory parade on Tuesday. Players, coaches, and other members of the organization all celebrated the team's huge comeback win over the Falcons with fans. Here's tight end Rob Gronkowski being, well, his usual Gronk self. Take it easy on that beer, big fella. And Tom Brady celebrating with his son, Benjamin. Dab on him, Benjamin. Your dad has 5 rings. Well, that's all for national news. We'll send it back to the desk.
There's a big snowstorm in the forecast, so we're hoping that classes might get canceled, but who knows? We'll see. John McMahon has it for you.
After almost spring-like weather today, let's see what Winter Storm Nico has in store. I have your full weather update coming up after the break.
Hello, Quinnipiac hockey fans, and welcome to the Neutral Zone.
Definitely St. Lawrence, and I think you're going to see the test coming up real soon.
They might be having a bit of an adjustment issue without that CBS line, but don't count them out.
At High Point Solutions Arena in Game 2 of Quinnipiac vs. Northeastern Series.
It's 9:30 Eastern, and you know what that means. Sports Pause is on the air.
Ball played up the middle. Emmanuel with a little cheat off the puck.
Preseason just boils down to going after another national championship and not necessarily focusing on the one before.
MJ, it is time for our favorite part of the show. It's the top 5 plays of the week, brought to you by B&D Deli, home of the Q-Dog.
Let's talk about the first play you want to break down.
Yeah, let's break it down right away.
But the one name I'm going to throw out there is a freshman, Mika Maples.
All this and more.
Coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Welcome back, guys. We're going to jump right in today's temperatures. Waterbury 54, New Haven 52, Meriden 54, Hartford 44, Storrs 53, Norwich 53, and New London 53. Tonight's forecast 29, snow and rain. Wind is at north at 8 miles per hour. You know, I might want to stay inside tonight. A little slushy. You know, good day to get some Netflix in here. Tomorrow's forecast 31, 6 to 10 inches of snow. Wind is north-northwest at 16 miles an hour. Definitely a hunkered down, maybe order some droogies kind of night. Tomorrow's night forecast 12 degrees, slippery conditions, northwest at 9, winds at north-northwest at 9 miles per hour. Again, stay off the roads if absolutely possible. And yeah, so 7-day forecast, February 9th, a little bit of snow, like I said, like Nico's coming, so batten down. Hopefully some snow, a snow day tomorrow. The 10th, partly cloudy, a little bit of sun, 29 degrees. Saturday, cloudy, 38, low of 32. February 12th, little rain, 44. You know, a little bit of, we expect some slush down there, so definitely a jacket, boots kind of night. 13th, Monday, sunny. Hopefully we can get some snow down. A little bit of, you know, little more air in the spring side, even though it's February. Tuesday, sunny again, 38. And Wednesday is partly cloudy, cloudy with 39. Now, with Nico coming to today, tonight, and tomorrow, just batten down the hatches. We have all surface lots closed, so Hogan South, North, TD, Eastview, Westview, Crescent, and Westwoods will all be closed for parking. Expect top 10 inches of snow, and just get ready, guys. I'm John McMahon, full weather forecast. Now back to you guys at the desk.
All right. Well, I know I live on York Hill, and last time it snowed, I was on a shuttle. We got in a car accident. I really don't want that to happen again, so I'm really, really hoping that we have a snow day tomorrow.
Me too. I have a test tomorrow, and I don't feel like taking it at all. Hopefully the snow, please pull through, we'll see.
Please.
7 Quinnipiac students were selected to have their short plays performed on an off-Broadway stage in New York City this coming April. Each year, students have the opportunity to write a play based on a specific theme. This year's theme is titled Unexpected and must be set in a hotel lobby. Other Quinnipiac students will direct, stage manage, and perform in these shows for 2 fully mounted productions with lights, sound, a set, and tech at the Barrow Group's main stage theater, just steps away from Times Square. We talked to some of the students of whose plays were chosen.
It's an amazing feeling. Like this is my first time ever writing a play or trying to write anything, so it was really awesome for me, kind of like my first attempt getting picked.
Congratulations to all the students who received this exciting opportunity. Montage held its first annual open mic night of the semester this past Monday evening. Students had the opportunity to express themselves by performing original poems, stories, or just talked about what was on their minds. Food from Panera Bread was provided. Each spectator was also given a free raffle ticket for the chance to win gift cards and memorabilia. Montage will be putting on more open mic nights in the future.
Quinnipiac's annual drag show took place this Friday in Buckman Theater. The event was hosted by QU's Gender Sexuality Alliance Club. Miss Sherry Vine performed the hour-long show where she performed some popular songs with her own twist. After the show, Vine took questions and posed for pictures with students.
And now we go to Nicolette, who has some exciting entertainment news. Lady Gaga announces her new tour, and the Grammys are this Sunday.
Nicolette, tell us more.
Hey guys, I'm Nicolette Archel. We are going to start off with what everyone wants to hear. Beyonce is pregnant. This is her second pregnancy, but this time she is having twins. Jay-Z and Beyonce's 5-year-old daughter, Blue Ivy, seems excited about having new siblings. Beyonce did a close-to-nude photo shoot to tell the world about the big news. The photo shoot filled the internet with love and support for the Carter family. The exact due date has not been decided, but the world is excitedly waiting the arrival of Queen Bee's twins. Who was better than Lady Gaga Sunday night? The glittery outfit, old classic pop songs, and the flashing lights. Lady Gaga slayed her Super Bowl halftime performance. She started off her performance by jumping from the ceiling of the venue with a few acrobat flips and closed the routine with a mic drop. Spectators and fans have given positive feedback along with lots of love for the performer. Gaga has showed some love back to her fans after Sunday night. She announced her upcoming 2017 tour. This will be her first solo tour since 2014, highlighting her recent album, Joanne. Tickets go on sale February 10th. Something big is happening on TV this week. The 59th annual Grammy show this Sunday. The host of The Late Late Show, James Corden, will be hosting this year's event. Some nominated artists, Adele with 5 award nominations, including Album of the Year, Beyonce, who is up for 9 across all categories and will be also performing. Rihanna, is up for 7 on top of her 8 awards already won over the past years. Lastly, Solange has her first nomination. Between the fashion show, the fashion feature on the red carpet before the event, and the various artists performing during the event, it seems this year is going to be a great show. The 59th Grammys will be aired on CBS this Sunday night at 8 p.m. That's all for your entertainment update. I'm Nicolette Archel. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Nicolette. After this short break, we'll have your sports update with the one and only MJ Baird.
Men's basketball and women's hockey still to come. Stay with us.
Hello, Quinnipiac hockey fans, and welcome to the Neutral Zone.
Definitely St. Lawrence, and I think you're going to see the test coming up real soon.
They might be having a bit of an adjustment issue without that CBS line, but don't count them out.
At High Point Solutions Arena in Game 2 of Quinnipiac vs. Northeastern Series.
All this and more.
Coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Hello, Quinnipiac hockey fans, and welcome to the Neutral Zone.
Definitely St. Lawrence, and I think you're going to see the test coming up real soon.
They might be having a bit of an adjustment issue without that CBS line, but don't count them out.
At High Point Solutions Arena in Game 2 of Quinnipiac vs. Northeastern Series.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast.
MJ Baird is here, and he is ready to give this week's Quinnipiac Sports Update. MJ?
Guys, thank you. The Quinnipiac men's basketball team played its first game since losing star forward Donovan Smith to a foot injury. However, fellow big man Chase Daniels took the reins in replacement and did not disappoint. At home against Niagara on Saturday, freshmen Peter Kiss and Mikey Dixon were at it again, combining for 41 points. But Daniels led all Bobcats with 24 points and 3 blocks in 36 minutes. How's that for stepping up? On Monday night, Tom Moore and company took the short trip down to Bridgeport to play the Fairfield Stags. The Bobcats trailed by 10 points at the half, but a second half resurgence led by Peter Kiss lifted the Bobcats to victory. Here's a Twitter video courtesy of Quinnipiac Athletics showing the final seconds of the game. Again, this is Peter Kiss in the last final seconds of the game. Little shake and bake up top, and he's going to drive in for the floater. That's 1.9 seconds on the clock. After that, Quinnipiac holds on to win the game and improves to 7-7 in the MAC. The Bobcats have a chance to earn a top 5 seed in the conference, which would earn the team a first-round bye. Jumping over now to the ice, Quinnipiac women's ice hockey picked up 4 important points this weekend. The Bobcats welcomed both Brown and Yale to High Point Solutions Arena and took care of business. Freshman Abby Ives played in net on Friday and posted a shutout for the Bobcats. The game was not exactly a shootout. Well, maybe it was, I guess, for the Bobcats, as they posted 9 goals in the game. Megan Turner added a hat trick, the first of her career. On Saturday, Sydney Rossman was back in net and let up only 1 goal. The skaters kept up their end of the bargain as well and scored 4 times to earn Quinnipiac its 11th conference win. The Bobcats are back in action this weekend on the road against Clarkson and St. Lawrence. As for the men's hockey team, well, they too had a successful weekend. On Friday, the Bobcats defeated Brown 1-0. Bo Peepers scored the lone goal for the Bobcats. Andrew Shortridge pitched his first collegiate shutout in the game. He faced 21 shots. As for the annual rivalry of Whitney Ave, Quinnipiac and Yale, the Bobcats traveled to Ingalls Rink on Saturday. Let's take a look at the highlight. Roll the tape. Quinnipiac and Yale, as I said, Ingalls Arena. Check out the beginning of this one. A young Bobcats fan's going to give his take.
Have you ever been to a Quinnipiac Yale game before? Yeah.
I've been here. Quinnipiac Yale game here a lot also.
And who has the better team?
Quinnipiac.
Kyle Lavasser, great job getting some interviews from the fans before the game, but we'll take you to the action. That is a penalty, boarding to say the least. Yale's going to get a 5-minute major penalty, and Chase Prisky, yeah, well, he makes him pay for it. That's a power play goal for the Bobcats, and in the second period, but just a minute later, Brogan Rafferty turns a puck over. Going the other way is Yale. He's going to take a penalty, though, a good penalty if you are a hockey fan. Definitely stops the breakaway goal there. However, it's the wraparound goal from DeCharia that puts Yale back on top 2-1. Quinnipiac, though, still on the power play. Remember that 5-minute major. Chase Prisky, another one, his second power play goal of the game, a rip from the point. This ties the game at 2. Later in the second period, Nick Germain, the freshman, scores his first collegiate goal. Definitely a memorable one for him. The Bobcats grabbed the puck for him after that goal. 3-2, Quinnipiac leads. And here's another one on the doorstep this time. Nick Germain, his second of his career. He gets number 1 and 2 in the same game. The Bobcats go on to win this one by a final score of 5-2. Brooke, Anna, that's all I have. Back to you.
Thanks, MJ. That's all we have for you tonight on this edition of the Q30 Newscast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Q30 News and see other episodes of our show and more content at Q30television.com.
I'm Brooke Riley.
And I'm Anna Sacco. Good night.